What's up, guys? So this is the truck. I didn't film an intro for this video again. Well, I did, but it got deleted. So filming a quick intro right now. In this video, we basically pick up where we left off, making the panhard bar, making a custom mount for it, and yeah. So let's get right into it. All right, guys. So, dude, I ended up losing a bunch of footage of me making the panhard bar itself. As you can see, I already have it made here, but I did record myself doing it. I just accidentally deleted it. Basically, I cut the original panhard bar I had, and I welded on left hand and right hand thread bungs on each end, as well as put the heim joints. I also even cut the brackets and the tabs to make the bracket that bolts onto the diff itself. So that's what we're going to be doing right now. Let me realign that. There you go. Yeah, so I have it lined up right here. We're just going to throw some tags, just make sure I like it. And there you go. It's going to be our bracket. We're going to go ahead and fully weld it right now. And then we're going to start mocking her in. This is the bracket we ended up making. I don't know if you guys can see that. Right here. I welded the inside and the outside. It seems like it's pretty strong. Hopefully it is. But yeah, it doesn't look the prettiest, but it works. And then you have 3 holes right here on the differential. I'm assuming it was for like a balancer type of thing. But yeah, we're just gonna be using those holes. So it's gonna be bolted down with some nuts on the bottom. And then yeah, we're gonna put those bolts on, those nuts on right now. Then this is our panhard bar right here. So from the research I've done, doesn't matter the length of your panhard bar, it just matters that you set it up correctly to get the minimum least amount of lateral movement, because that's what a panhard bar does. If you guys didn't know, it it keeps the rear end centered. Yeah, so this side is going to go onto the notch itself, and then this side is going to go onto the bracket we made. So I'm going to go ahead and squeeze that in there. 1 second. Right there. All right. So yeah, that's going to go something like this. Right about there. A panhard bar going up and down, it has an arc, creates an arc. And you want to have the least amount of arc so that you don't have too much lateral movement, because it does keep it center, but it whenever you're going up or down, it will shift a little bit, and we're trying to keep it as minimal as possible so that it's not even noticeable. So in order to set it up correctly, you want to have it at half travel, and you want to have this mount and that mount at the exact same height. And at that half travel, which essentially will be like ride height, I guess, it'll push the rear end like to the side a little bit, and whenever you air up or you air out, it will have that little arc where it puts it back in the center. So it's going to be right here. Whenever you're at right height, it's going to be right here, and whenever you're aired out, it'll be right here. So there's a myth that having a small panhard bar makes too much arc, but if you set it up correctly, it won't. Alright guys, so in order to get up to that half travel, we're gonna have to jack it up. Got our tape measure. Axle should be same height on both sides right here. So let's double check that. We are at about 13 inches. Alright, so aired all the way out, so suspension all the way up. We measure at 20 inches exactly on both sides. So what that means is our play is from 13 inches to 20 inches. That's about 7 inches of going up and down. Yeah, so we have 7 inches of play. Half would be half of 7. 7 divided by 2, 3.5. So 13 plus 3.5, that is 16.5. So to find our half travel, we have to have it at 16.5 inches. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so now we are even on both sides. We are at 16.5. So to set up this panhard bar, we're gonna want this leveled. But it's gonna be hard to do that because we're gonna have to move the axle to the side to get that leveled. I'm probably gonna be scratching this up if I hammer it. There you go. Alright, so we're gonna go get a level, make sure that's level. So basically what happened here, since this is half travel, this is gonna be the middle of our radius movement, our lateral movement. So it's gonna push the axle this way. So that when we air up, it pulls it back to the center, and when we air back down, it also pulls it back to the center, if that makes sense. All right, so right there, we're in the bubble. We are leveled. So now to test that theory, we are going to air it up so that we can see it going back to center. We have no more air. Let's go turn on the compressor. We finished mocking up and measuring exactly where the panhard bar is going to mount on the notch, and we went ahead and marked those holes so that we can drill those out. Now we took everything off so that we can give everything a nice coat of paint, make it look nice. Alright guys, so my phone has been messing up and didn't get to record me finish painting it, but I painted it, and since we had already found the measurements, I also went ahead and just drilled the holes, and she is in. So we got our panhard bar in, and also painted these. Thinking about painting the shocks, but not really a priority right now. But she's basically done in the rear, guys. We got the whole 4-link, monster notch, panhard, bags. Yeah, I'm excited, guys. This is gonna look sick. So yeah, I guess we could put the wheels on and set her down on the floor with some air, and see how that goes.
Thought I told you time and time again that we won't stop. Back it show by show, I'm tryna triple and double the pot. Book for at least 6 figures, a show or more for him on now. 6 figures. Pooping at 25 rows, all great interior whenever it's cloudy. Every day better my growth, I'm chasing health and wealth, not clout. Baddies under my belt, I cook like a chef, I'm Mr. Child. Ain't going no speeds, but I spend G's whenever I browse. Mink on all of my carpets, at the house, I walk on clouds. Soon as I get out this work, I'm out the door, I'm in it out. Every girl slapping and burnt just like a perk, I'm in her mouth. Better them grins, my turf, I got out of the dirt without no doubt. When they keep coming, they coming, we saving the winter, this summer we wildin'. I can't even call it freestyling, I'm one of designing, the style ain't free. Travel to go like a charter, I'm going back to Saudi to pick up the cream. Landing the A, hit the office, I got a new offer that I gotta read. I'm the same one, took the top off, I'm one of the rappers, they got them intrigued. Sitting back, land on the summer, I'm coming in hot, 400 degrees.
Y'all see how low that thing is, bro? Alright guys, so she's officially off the jack stands, sitting by herself. Damn, this thing is on the floor. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? Hell yeah. Struts are like perfectly, they're not fully bottomed out, they don't fully top out. Yeah, so we still got some clearance. The frame is not on the floor yet, but once we drop the front, then the frame is gonna fall down. Hell yeah. That's how she's looking, guys. She's officially on the floor and she's ready to get started on the front. Alright guys, so now that you guys have seen that the rear is officially on the floor, now we can get started on the front. So we're gonna go ahead and jack that up, and yeah, we're gonna start taking apart everything. Alright guys, so this is the front right side. We have officially put it on jack stands. We took off the wheels already, and yeah, now we're gonna start disassembling well, really all we're taking out is the spring and the shock. That's what's got to come out. In order to do that, we just disconnect the brake line so we could get some slack. Then we take off the upper control arm, and then sway bar link, and then we can go ahead and drop everything down. But first we got to put a jack under so that we can relieve some tension and then slowly drop it down. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. All right, so first we're gonna start by taking off the bolts for the caliper, the brake line. Those are 10 mils. I got one right here, one right here. Reason we're taking those off is so when we drop the suspension, we have some slack to go down, and that we don't have tension on the line, so we don't rip that, because this is a 26-year-old truck. It's 2000. So now what we're gonna do, take off the sway bar link. Let's go ahead and do that. 14. Alright, so now that we have taken off the sway bar link, sway bar is just hanging there. We're gonna go ahead and take off the nut that holds the ball joint for the upper control arm. So you should have a cotter pin there, and we're gonna go ahead and bend that. be easier if you get some pliers. Got some pliers. Push it on the other side. Just gonna use the leverage to pull it up. There you go. Okay, so with the 7/8 and a 1/2 inch, I'll go ahead and loosen that bad boy up. Then the way you take off the upper control arm out of the spindle, you're gonna have to strike it with the hammer somewhere right here so they could loosen up the whatever's holding the ball joint, so that then it could pop up. All right. See, now it's loose, so now we can go ahead and drop the suspension. It would help if you take off the top nut that holds the strut, and that should be like a 14. Yeah. So we're gonna drop the jack. You should probably take off the strut first before you take anything else off. So that we got the spring out. Go ahead and push that shock out the way. Alright, so we got the upper bracket right here, and we got the lower bracket. So we're probably gonna have to shave that spring perch out so that this can sit flush in here, and then this gets bolted to the top. So it's gonna go right up here. We're gonna go ahead and bolt on the bag to the brackets. These are gonna be some Slam Specialty 6s, the SS6s. So hopefully these work pretty good. We're back. My phone had overheated, so I got some progress done while that was cooling down. Basically, it wasn't fitting good how I wanted it to, so I had to grind down the spring perch just so I can get it so it could center in a way. Also, I offset it as much as I could just so it could come forward, and it gave me literally all the clearance I needed. Also, another thing we had to modify, the bolt for the top bracket. It was too short. It was 6 inches, and it measured like flush with the top, so I couldn't even fit the nut. So I had found some bolt that had the same threading and all that, and I just added it as an extension. It should be perfect to pass the thing, so I could put a nut. And I'm also offsetting the, excuse the background noise, the neighbors cutting their grass right now, so I'm trying to speak a little louder so you guys can hear me. Like I was saying, the top bracket, we're also offsetting it to the front again, so we can have as much clearance as possible. So yeah, this is the front bag, guys. This is literally all it is. Goes right in there. That's it. Now we just go ahead and put the top bolt on. Alright, so I also just realized that you guys can't even see the top part, so we're gonna raise the camera right about there. Yeah, so this is the bolt that we're going to be bolting down, putting 2 washers, and then this just tightens up. And then I'm going to go ahead and bolt everything back on so you guys can see what we're working with, because Neighbor is cutting the grass and it is very loud. So I'm gonna show you guys that right now. Alright guys, so we got everything bolted up. Upper control arm, the 10 mils for the brake line. Yeah, and the bag's fully bolted on. We ran the air line already. We ran it to the back already, so you can see. Ran it through the frame, and it's just right here. Put a lot extra just in case, just to be safe. And yeah, now we're gonna go ahead and do the other side, and that's really it for the front. Also, I realized doing some research that I basically have to get rid of the sway bar, so I have to take that off as well. And but yeah guys, we're officially done with one side in the front. I got pretty carried away. I mean, I basically showed you guys how the front setup was. It's literally just those two brackets and the bag, and taking off the sway bar. Right now I have it aired up on some valves like I have the rear, and yeah, I put the tires back on so I can show you guys it airing up and down. So that's what I'm about to show you guys. There you go guys, that's it aired out all the way down. Frame isn't touching, but it's basically off the floor. On the floor, I mean. See? Probably gonna have to fix some of that toe because it's towed out a bit. But I mean, there she goes guys, aired out. Alright guys, so that concludes today's video on the bagged F150. Today I think we hit a milestone and finally having it on the floor. So honestly, all we have next is to start running all the electrical stuff, start putting the bed, cutting the bed, and making the little setup in the bed with the tank and all that. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and hope you guys like it.